The views and opinions expressed in the Golden Boot podcast are those of the speaker and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of the Golden Boot podcast as a whole.
Y'all ready to get rolling? Quiet on the set. Hey, welcome back. Another hot episode of the Golden Boot. It's your boy Pooh. I got my man Ant Petty Murphy in the building. What's good with you, my boy?
What's happening with it, bro?
Not much, not much. We got a few changes to the studio. See how this thing work out. So far, I mean, I guess say so good. Um, we not on Twitter right now. We still trying to get that worked out, get the kinks fixed there. But hey, we here. We here. Terrible game yesterday for LSU fans. Mm, yeah. But it's a lot of symmetry in there too if you look at the numbers. Alabama did what they was gonna do. They did the same thing they did last year. We didn't. Yeah. Same points, yardage. So, but we'll get there. We'll talk about it. Other than that, man, there were some other really good games yesterday. Enjoyed watching. Uh, I had man, it's funny, man. I had not LSU. I'm sorry. I had a Miami fan text me early this morning to talk trash to me, and I'm like, Georgia Tech and Alabama are not the same. His reasoning was, yeah, but Miami, we were on borrowed time. Everybody knew that we were going to lose eventually. Y'all lost to Alabama. Like, that makes no sense. That makes no sense. But yeah, but I think I have grown. I ain't cussed nobody out this year. I usually would have told people how I felt about them, but yeah, I ain't I ain't did that. Oh man, I just realized something. I just realized what I don't have on here. Our ad, bet online.
Mm.
Uh, but hold on, let me see if I can get it on here real quick. I should have it here. Should be able to get it on here. Yeah, let's see if it'll. Yeah. We gonna be all right. Um, but yeah, man. Other than that, oh, also, man, I want to say, shout out to you, man, being on ESPN and everything, doing your thing. You was on there, man. Somebody, a matter of fact, our guy, man, Mo Carter sent me the clip, sent me the screenshot. I was like, oh snap, appreciate that. And then saying, put it out there. So
Yeah,
I don't know if you knew you
I
were
ain't even.
even
I did not realize that I was checking my phone, trying to check the scores of the games that I couldn't watch. You know what I mean?
hmm
So I didn't even realize that we was on TV or that they was pointing the camera up there at us or nothing like that.
right.
But it was dope. It was a fun experience. But I'm glad I got that opportunity. But yeah, it was a good game. And it was a fun opportunity. So it all worked out. That's why I can't be too mad at how yesterday turned out. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
As far as the
yeah,
LSU game. So
yeah, man. I'm with you, man. You know what I did say though after the game? I said, man, at least Houston ain't lose. Shout out to them Cougars, man. Uh, but man, y'all know what it is. We gotta give a shout out to our sponsor over at BetOnline. BetOnline.ag. We will be back in 1 minute.
BetOnline.ag is your number one source for all your sports information, stats, news, and scores. Get the latest odds, lines, and player injury reports for this year's NBA and NHL playoffs. BetOnline is always your sports information headquarters. This season, we have you covered for all your sports wagering needs. We have everything from NBA, NFL, MLB, and NHL to golf, tennis, UFC, and boxing. BetOnline is the fastest and easiest way to get your betting info, including live betting options and your favorite casino and card games that you can play right from your home. Head on over to betonline.ag today or use your mobile device to get in on the action. Be sure to use the promo code BLEAV to receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. BetOnline, where the game starts.
And we are back. And we talked Wednesday. We talked about the game, gave our keys to victory, and all this kind of stuff.
Let's talk, man. Alabama strengths and strategies, man. Thoughts?
Well, I mean, after our display against Texas A&M,
And South Carolina.
yeah, I'm pretty sure we're gonna get a good dose of read option with Milrow using his legs, and until we show that I know I seen that until that we show that we can stop him. I'm pretty sure we're gonna see a high dose of that.
What does LSU have to do to win this game?
Stop the run and run the ball.
You read my prediction, didn't it?
No, I mean it's as simple as that, bro.
I know. It's just it's funny though.
If you run the ball and you keep it from having to be all on Nussmeier's shoulders, and you keep your defense off the field some by sustaining long drives and not having to drop Nuss back 50 times, and you stop the run like I just mentioned. Stop the run. Don't let Milrow get loose with his legs, and you contain him. Then you got a chance, bro.
It's like we knew. Um, I don't even.
If we knew, how the hell the coaching staff ain't know?
Let's look at how things actually panned out. Um, Yesterday's stats, total yards. Alabama had 420, LSU had 343. Passing yards. If you would have told me LSU would have held Alabama to 109 passing yards, I would have been jumping for joy. I would have been excited. Man, listen, I would have just been like, oh, through the roof with excitement. But here's the problem. They allowed 311 rushing yards. What you just said Wednesday, they did not do. We had 239 passing yards and 104 yards rushing. Penalties, both teams had 7. They had 74 yards. We had 65, which is ironic because that was one of my keys to where I thought we would, we would be able to capitalize. They would be undisciplined, get penalty yards, and we would be able to help us out. No. First downs, they had 23. We had 22. This is where I think the game changes. Third downs, they had 10 of 13 on third down.
That's because most of that third down was 3rd and 4 or less.
Yeah. We were 6 of 14, and we were 2 or 3 on fourth downs. Both teams ran 66 plays. They averaged 6.4 yards per play. We averaged 5.2. And I can go on and on and on. They were 4 for 4 in the red zone. We were 2 or 3. They dominated time of possession, 33 minutes and 55 seconds to our 26 minutes and 5 seconds.
The next one though is the key factor in the whole thing, bro.
Turnovers and the defensive points off of the turnovers. They had 0 turnovers, so we got 0 points. We had 3 turnovers. They got 21 points.
Difference in the game.
Yeah. Um.
That in on your first trip to the red zone, you drop a touchdown pass and have to settle for three. Your next trip to the red zone, Nuss might throw an interception.
Nevertheless, your next trip to the red zone is 2 quarters later.
Yeah.
um. This is frustrating. Um. I wore my loud and wrong shirt today for obvious reasons. Um. Kudos to Alabama, man, because we talked about the coaching staff, and most of them, at least I talked about them, most of them had nobody had coached here or been in this environment except for one. And we talked about we had 2 weeks to prepare. They had 2 weeks, but they didn't have saving and all this. But you know what they did? What they did do? They um they came in with a very good strategy. We're going to run the ball, and they obviously dedicated themselves to that because they had 48 rushing attempts, bro.
Yeah.
48. It's
Yeah.
not that's by design that they wanted this to go this way. They opened the game up a few passes, and it looked good. LSU looked good on defense. Milrow got outside the pocket and made a pass, extend the play, and they basically kind of dinked and dunked that first drive, and then they went to Milrow, and that was the rest of the game. That was it. Deja vu.
And the frustrating part is you knew it was coming.
Yeah.
You knew it was coming. You had 2 weeks to prepare for it, and you still looked like you didn't know what was going on, bro.
hmm hmm
And
Um.
and, and, and to Marv's point, you did a decent job of stopping the running game when it wasn't Jalen Milrow.
Yeah.
You just couldn't stop Jalen Milrow.
Yeah. Yeah. Um. I forgot it. We got a new studio, so got people in. Um. Hold on. I'm trying to figure out what because I had something to put in here. But oh well, here we go. Um Next stat I want to pull up. This is Garrett Nussmeyer and the his stats through SEC play. Right. So um as you can see, it's been a long journey. Um South Carolina is 24 of 40 for 85 yards, 2 touchdowns, and an interception. Should have been two or more, but it's only one. Against Ole Miss, 22 of 51, 337 yards, 3 touchdowns, 2 picks. Against Arkansas, he was 22 of 33, 224 yards, no touchdowns, no picks. Ironically, I'm good with that.
That's
I'm
his best
happy with
game.
this. I'm happy with that. Texas A&M, he's 25 of 50, 405 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 3 interceptions. And then last night against Alabama, he's 27 of 42 for 239 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 picks. Grand total in SEC play, he's been 120 of 216 for 1,490 yards, 8 touchdowns, 8 picks. Here's the crazy part about that, Ant.
55% completion percentage.
Here's the crazy part about this, Ant. If you look at the touchdown and interceptions, right? Start at the top here, 2, 3, 0, 2, 1. Now
Hmm.
look at the interceptions.
The inverse.
Going from the bottom, yeah, 2, 3, 0, 2, 1. Yeah. Yeah.
But to
Yeah.
the two good wins, he threw under 40 times. So I mean, it go back to establishing the run, like we talked about, man. You gotta
Yeah.
stick with it. You had Caden Durham averaging like 7 yards per rush, and he rushed 8 times.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's no reason
So
why he shouldn't rush the ball at least 12, 15 times a game.
yeah. So I do want to show this question. C Trey, what's good, man? I haven't seen him. He said, how do y'all think this game helped or hurt recruiting? Go hashtag go Tigers. Ironically, I don't think this game necessarily hurts recruiting. Um, because I think it can go both ways. Because some people might look at this, some of the kids may look at this like, I can get out there and change this. It's an
Yeah, I can
opportunity for
play
me.
immediately.
I can play immediately. Some may be like, nah, if because I'll say this: if I got out there and I'm looking at the coaching staff, if I'm like everybody out of position, nobody's what's called, then I'm like, I don't know if this is good for me. I don't know if this is what's called. But there was so many opportunities where people were in place and just didn't make plays. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Um, here's the next one though. This is the one I'm looking forward to talking about. Us against mobile quarterbacks. This is Lenore Sellers, Marcel Reed, and Milrow last night against Sellers. He was 10 carries for 88 yards and 2 touchdowns. Mind you, most of that was, if I'm not mistaken, that was all first half for the most part. Marcel Reed, 9 carries, 62 yards, 3 touchdowns. All second half. Then last night, Jalen Milrow, 12 carries, 185 yards, and 4 touchdowns. Blake put out a stat earlier talking about the last whatever game, 6, 7, however many games. This is just SEC play from the quarterbacks we know are saying dual threat mobile. 31 carries, 335 yards, and 9 touchdowns. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a problem.
Yeah, that's terrible, bro.
Yeah. I don't know what to say. Um, we know that there's an issue with stopping the run. It happened last year. We're seeing it again this year. And we gave Matt House hell for it. I give Blake Baker some I give him some leeway because these aren't necessarily all his athletes or all his saying guys. Um, but there's got to be something we can do. Carter put out a Carter put out a video or a screenshot and mentioned this. Most of the issues we're having aren't necessarily fits here or there. Most of the issues we're having are because of people not sticking to their gaps, the gap integrity. Um, all right. Um, that's a big issue. Let me see if I can find the tweet from that Blake put out earlier that detailed the stats. Um, because this was his stat was eye popping as well. Um, all right, here we go. In the last two games, LSU Tigers have allowed 276 and a half yards rushing in those two games. In the last five LSU losses, they have allowed 1,227 rushing yards. That's 245.4 rushing yards per game per loss.
That's terrible, bro.
Yeah. That, yeah.
250 yards a game, bro.
What do you say to that? And Marv says also teams know Nuss isn't a threat in the run game, so they blitz us. Yeah.
Not just that, they know your offensive line might not pick up the blitz and let a
Hmm.
free rusher go right up the middle while he looking the other way. And they know your quarterback can't escape that type of pressure like Jalen Daniels could. So they heat it up a little bit, send pressure, and Nuss can't escape it. And your offensive line gonna let somebody through. So why not?
Yeah.
Until Nuss show he can handle the blitz better, until the offensive line show that they can pick up the blitz better, they gonna keep sending it.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, I don't know if it went through. There you go. Also, as always, want to say thank you for watching. You could be anywhere in the world, but you're here with us, and we appreciate that. Do us a favor: subscribe, like, and share. Subscribe, like, and share. Um, Marv, he posted where he said the DNs blitzing wrong gaps all night instead of keeping him in the pocket.
Trying to play Superman and make a play instead of doing the fundamental sound thing and playing your responsibility on the play. There was one play where Swinson sees that Milrow trying to cut it outside, but instead of staying in his gap, he tried to go outside and make the
And
play,
chase him.
leaving a cutback gap for Milrow. He cut through that gap, nobody right there, and he running free with a lead blocker in front of him. So I mean,
Mhm.
it's just the small things of doing your assignment, playing assignment football, doing your job on each play, and trusting the next guy beside you that he gonna make the play that he's supposed to make.
Yeah. We finally did our everybody stayed in their gaps. Mush rush. They got a sack and it was
Face mask.
called back for face mask. You have got to be kidding me, man. Listen, at that point, I was done. I was the I
Oh yeah, I had checked that by then.
yeah yeah my yeah yeah it was time to yeah check out time. Um
I was a few drinks in at that point. I didn't care no more, bro.
yeah yeah same same. Um I'll look on the rest of the season.
I
Mhm.
I
Yeah,
was
I
finna
know.
say I don't care no more,
I
but
understand.
it's I mean playoff is probably out the picture.
Oh, playoffs. Get it out of
Now
there.
I'm just saying like chaos could still happen, but unlikely. But
I feel bad. too. I'm gonna tell you, Dylan came and was asking me playoff scenarios and what ifs, and I got to the point I was like, listen, I look, dude, go to bed. I was done. I was like, it's a wrap. No, ain't no playoffs, not this year.
I don't think so either. But I'm just saying, I don't know what you. I was gonna say the Pop Tart Bowl, but
We'll be back in Orlando, Camping World Bowl or
yes,
Cheez-Its Bowl.
yeah, man. I don't know, bro. Outlook on the rest of the season. Don't lose no more games.
And the next, I'm thinking every opponent we have left, if Lagway plays,
Mm-hmm.
dual threat.
Yep. Diego Pavia.
Pavia,
Mm-hmm.
dual threat. Jackson Arnold or Hawkins, dual threat, dual threat. Or I ain't gonna even say they. I don't even have to say dual threat for them two running.
Yeah. Uh,
When it rains, it pours. If we had a look like crap beginning of the season and gotten better, would that have changed our outlook?
say that again.
If we had a look like crap in the beginning, so for instance, you know how we started seeing progress, like the team was getting better in the beginning of the season.
Yeah.
If we had a if say we had to start this season playing Alabama and South Carolina and USC, and then all of a sudden we start playing the other teams and gotten better and the performances we saw, would it change your outlook on the season?
Not really, because you didn't do it versus the better teams.
That's fair. That's fair.
Um, there is my main concern isn't that the team isn't getting better from week 1 to week 9 or 10. My issue is this program hasn't gotten better from year 1 to year 3.
I like that.
Name a facet of this program that has improved since BK has gotten here.
It's hard for me to say.
The offensive line we thought was the answer, but they haven't played up to their expectation this year. The secondary about the same as when he got here. The linebacker core about the same. D line about the same. Receivers ain't as good. Quarterback, I mean, about the same.
Yeah. And what we had at quarterback,
I mean, then he went and got Jaden Daniels, but he hasn't improved. You know what I'm saying? The quarterback position hasn't made a steadily improvement year in and year out.
no,
You
you're
would
absolutely right.
it ain't no different. It ain't no difference than what's the boy name? Miles Brennan at quarterback right now, bro. And that's what we would have had before BK got here.
We were joking, and I was typing, and I just said Garrett Nussmeyer is Miles Brennan, and then I would change the end. But Garrett Nussmeyer is Miles Brennan. I mean,
I
for
didn't
the
say
most,
Nuss was the same as Jaden. I said Nuss is the same as before BK got here. That's
yeah,
the quarterback room that we had before BK got here, which included Nussmeyer.
yeah, yeah.
I just don't see where this team has made steps of improvements. Like to say this is year 3, like what are we hanging our hat on as a football team? What is our identity as a football team under Brian Kelly?
We got a Heisman Trophy winner.
Okay, cool. You ain't got nothing to show for it.
I know.
because your defense was historically bad, and that your identity ain't Jaden Daniels because he gone. So what is your identity as a program? Georgia, you know their identity. They a smash mouth defensive football team. You know Alabama identity is they're gonna run the ball and play defense. You know Ohio State's they gonna have good skilled guys out wide and they're gonna play good defense. Michigan gonna run the ball, play defense. What's LSU identity under Brian Kelly?
The question has been asked: is it Notre Dame or is it Brian Kelly?
I mean, Marcus Freeman ain't lit the world up on fire up there at Notre Dame. I think it's a combination of both. I think Notre Dame has a problem getting the players that they need to get to a certain extent to be championship level team. And I think that Brian Kelly has a problem whenever it comes to putting together championship caliber teams. He's missing an ingredient for his teams to be championship level teams. I don't know what it is, but it's something about his teams that can't get over the hump. I don't know if it's toughness, physicality. I don't know if it's whenever it was at Notre Dame, it might have been athleticism. Like it's his teams lack something to get over the hump.
Marvin says, they're soft and finesse. That's the identity of this team." John chimes in and says that the team is improving, but not making Durham RB1 and not getting Anderson more touches hurts. Also, the tight end doesn't get involved like it should.
So my question is that on Nussmeyer whenever it comes to Anderson and Mason Taylor not getting involved as they should?
That's scheme,
Are
in
we
my
sure
opinion.
about that?
In my opinion, that feels like scheme.
All
Now,
right. So so
some of it does feel
so
like
on the third
nut
and
stuff.
four, whenever he decides to throw the ball 40 yards downfield to Kyron Lacy, when he got Aaron Anderson open underneath, that's on the scheme.
No, no, no. What I'm saying
So
is
you so
some
so
of it.
like
I get what I get what you're saying. What I'm saying is I think there's elements of both in there. I do think there are some ways to scheme plays to where hey, let's this is your one, this is your two, and so on and so on to where we're going to these guys. But we also see where he's forcing the ball to certain players. We also see where it makes no sense. It's third or it's 4th and 5, and you're throwing it a screen pass in. You're not even behind the. I mean, the line of scrimmage. You're not even throwing it. You know what I'm saying? But you're throwing it behind the line of scrimmage. It was I got a third, fourth drive before Nuss completed a forward pass.
that ain't on scheme.
I know that's not scheme, but I'm saying I'm acknowledging to saying your point of is it
I
nuts or is it scheme?
I
So
think
that
I
part
think
it
it's
is
more
nuts.
I think it's more nuts than it is scheme. Honestly, like I think once Nuss throws the ball to the sidelines a lot, and I think he once he sees a defender across the middle, he hesitates and doesn't want to throw across the middle anymore. And I don't know if it's because he's starting to throw interceptions that he's trying to be less turnover prone and trying to throw more to the sidelines and not as much passes over the middle. But he would rather make a tough pass to the sidelines than throw a check down across the middle. And I can scheme a Aaron Anderson on a crosser wide open. But if he don't throw the ball to him, like
That's true.
that ain't on the play call. You know what I mean? And so I feel like there's times where we have tried to get Mason and Aaron Anderson more involved, but Nuss, for whatever reason, whether it's pressure or it's just he feels more comfortable throwing to Kyron Lacy. I just feel like he's kind of trying to force it to Kyron Lacy some.
Yeah, yeah. Um, you got anything else on this game or LSU before we
Nah,
move
man,
on?
I'm done talking about this game.
All right, we can we can move on. Talk about some of the other more pressing games on the season. Week 11, man. What a week for college football. If LSU, if the game with us LSU game goes a different way, this is probably one of my favorite weeks. Some of the things we've seen, some of these games. I want to start Georgia Tech, Miami. I know some people will say, Miami was so this was a letdown, and they've been looking for this to happen, and this was bound to happen, and all this. I just wanted to say, I said it this summer that somebody Georgia Tech they had Miami number, and I said that I wouldn't count that as an easy win for Miami. Said it this summer. We was in space. I can't even remember. It wasn't Rowe. It was another Miami fan came in there. We was looking at their schedules like, yeah, I think y'all can get through and beat this team, beat this team. And I said, I don't know. I said seriously, that I think y'all could win that or should win that Georgia Tech game, but I wouldn't count that as a saying be careful on that one. And sure enough, in Georgia
Yeah,
Tech from jump, this wasn't no fluke last second field goal or a long pass or something like that. No, from jump, Georgia Tech was on.
yeah, they handled business all game, bro.
Yeah,
Kudos to and they did it with the backup quarterback for a lot of the game too.
yeah, yeah. So um, another game. We both picked this one. Ole Miss over Georgia.
Yeah, I was keeping track of that one on my phone. Uh, at one point it was like 22-10 or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I was kind of shocked at how handily, I guess you could say, Ole Miss did. Then Jackson Dart got hurt or
He
something like
rolled his
that.
ankle. Yeah, rolled his ankle, and
Yeah.
the other guy came in. Simmons came in, and then Dart came. Oh, by the way,
See,
do you remember?
if you would have told me that Dart rolled his ankle, I don't think Ole Miss would have had a chance. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, but that was kudos to them, man. Big win.
Hey, do you remember what I told you was the reason why my I said, hey, it's funny because same thing with LSU. Do you remember why I told you I said why Georgia was gonna lose this game?
No, I don't.
About
Actually,
the
don't.
no, I said about the mobility and all the quarterbacks.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Dart 8 carries, 50 yards. It ain't he ain't like necessarily light the world on fire, but
Yeah,
he
but
did enough.
he did enough. Yeah.
Yeah, he did enough. Um, and defensively, we talked about Becky can't do what he's done against other teams and throw all these picks and survive. It's not going to happen. And he threw one, but it was he threw a pick. If I'm not mistaken, it was a strip sack fumble. It's what yeah he had two fumbles. He lost one. There were two fumbles total for. Well, I'm sorry, four fumbles total for Georgia. They lost two of them. So yeah, they literally gave Ole Miss three easy turnovers. So
Sound
hmm,
familiar?
yeah. See another game. Hey, I'm telling you a game that was I was hoping for. My parlay was ruined though, and so I was pissed and I ain't care. I watched the game, but I ain't really care about it at this point. But it still was a good game. BYU Utah. BYU is another team that's playing with fire, like Miami, but they keep finding ways to make it to win.
Yep. That Colorado game gonna be interesting in the Big 12 championship.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Eli Holstein turned into Mac Jones and threw a pick for Pitt. That blew my point. Virginia? Come on, man. Come on. Yeah, that messed me up. That messed me up. I'm trying to think. I'm see what other games. Texas Tech looked like they were. I thought Paul's was on something for a minute. Thought he was. What I'm saying, he might have had that sports almanac from Back to the Future because he called that, but Colorado ended up pulling that one out too.
You can't beat Colorado with the 132nd ranked pass defense.
Yeah. Um, hey, so I will say shout out to um, all three of Dion's sons scored a touchdown. Uh, Travis Hunter had a receiving touchdown. Shador had a rushing touchdown, and Shiloh had a pick six.
They had a fumble return.
Oh, it was a fumble return. I thought it was a pick
Yeah.
six. I'm sorry, but yeah. So all three of his sons scored a touchdown. So yeah, shout out to them. Trying to see what else was a good game. That's about it. Army looked real suspect too.
Yeah, and that defense did pretty good though. They held
Yeah,
North
no
Texas
test.
down
Yeah,
3 points.
yeah. I'm gonna tell you who else looks suspect. They look real
NBA.
human. The boys, Signetti, smoking cigarettes at night. Listen, that game got close quick, real quick. Indiana couldn't do nothing. They scored early, and then that was it.
Yeah.
Penn State looks good.
Yeah, they do, except for when they play Ohio State.
Yeah, yeah. Um, that's about it. All y'all tuning in, watching. We will be. We're gonna try this out, man. It's supposed to be a feature. Let people call in and stuff. We're gonna try it out in a little bit. Before we do that, though, let's go ahead and let's talk about NFL real quick. Saints won. I know you ain't really watch much today. NFL Saints won. The Jets got dominated, got blew out
They
by
suck.
by the Cardinals. Yes, my goodness. Um, Jaden Daniels is phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. But they did end up losing today. Buffalo beat the Colts. Chiefs stay undefeated with a last second field goal block. Bo Nix played a pretty good game today. Had actually had the Broncos in a spot. Looked like they were going to win the game.
Yep, they should have won the game.
Yeah, block kick. 49ers survive the Buccaneers, but things are getting testy out there. Debo, I don't know if you saw it. He slapped the holder and the kicker. Slapped the holder, pushed the kicker. They missed three field goals.
Dang.
Yeah, it's like it was in one fell swoop. He like pushed the holder neck and slapped the dude in the face. Yeah, on the sideline. It's crazy. The Vikings survived all field goals, beating the Jaguars 12-7. And the Cowboys just need to hang it up. Excuse me.
Yeah, it's over with for them. Bless you. It's over with
Yeah,
for them.
yeah. That's it for NFL, man. That's all I got. I don't know if the what's called did win today too. Saints won. Of
Yeah,
course,
of
when I
course. Shout out to MVS, the only receiver we got with a pulse.
uh real quick, man, real quick. Shout out to the LSU men's team. They look terrible today, but they did win. They did come back and win. They look terrible though.
That man said, shout out to them. They look terrible.
They did win. Um, Alabama State gave them everything they could handle, and I think it opened their eyes a little bit. But
Yeah,
they same thing happened last year too. So
definitely. They got a little bit of a wake up call in that game. You gotta do a little bit better. I don't know what it is, but 15 turnovers to 14 assists, that ain't gonna cut it, bro.
no,
And then Alabama State did this, and they were
last
one
year,
of 20 from three.
yeah,
So if they would have made some of their shots, it's a totally different ball game, bro. And like he say, rebounding, bro. You got out rebounded by Alabama State.
yeah. It's funny the women look bad in their first game. I'm sorry, look bad in their what's it? They look good in the first. They look bad in their first game. Look good in their second. The men look good in their first. Look bad in their second. So, um, but speaking of man, the women they played on Friday night. They look really good in their game against Northwestern State. Uh, two wins this season. Both scored 95 points in both games. So. I don't know, man. What you think? Anything else on that?
Nah, I'll wait till we play a more competitive team.
Okay. Uh oh. Uh-oh. Yeah. All right. I'm gonna put it in the chat. There's supposed to be a way so people can call in and everything. Um, I don't know. I don't know how it works, but put it in the chat so everybody can see. That's the link. Click on it, and it should be able to call in or talk with us and stuff. Other than that, man, looking at this Texans Detroit game right now, and Texans is they putting it on. They are putting it on uh, Detroit right now. It scores
Yeah.
23-7, 12 seconds left in the first half.
I seen a stat today that's crazy as hell. And it
Hmm.
ain't got nothing to do with nothing. But I'm gonna bring it up anyway. This has never happened.
Hmm.
Every Florida FBS, FCS, and NFL team lost this weekend.
Wow.
FBS, FAU, Florida, Miami, Florida State, Central Florida, and South Florida all lost. And
Wow.
FCS, FAMU, Bethune, and Stetson all lost. And in the NFL, the Jaguars and the Bucks both lost.
And or Miami plays Monday. They play the Rams.
So this weekend don't really count.
Yeah, they might be. They might. It might be they saving grace. Wow, that's interesting. That is interesting. So
Crazy.
yeah,
Some tragedy,
um,
boy.
that is that's that is interesting. I know you. We'll talk about probably talk a little bit more about it later on this week. Probably not because I know how you what you gonna say. Mike Tyson, Jake Paul fight this week.
Boy, don't nobody care about that fake shit.
I just want to see it. I just want to see what I want to see if they're really gonna actually fight, or if it's just gonna be a theater. If it's even half as entertaining as the Roy Jones Mike Tyson fight,
But that's what 4 years ago.
yeah, that was two 50-year-olds. Mike Tyson,
Yeah,
I wouldn't mind. I just want to see what if that's one of them. If I get hope to you,
that was pre-medical emergency, Mike Tyson.
that's true. That's fair. It's very fair. He's still probably healthy than
To me, but
me. I was trying not to. I was trying to find a nice way to say it. Me. I gotta go take my pills now. Shit. Um, yeah, so that's gonna be interesting. I know we're gonna talk about. We got game. We got to wait tomorrow night. Oh, the Patriots beat the Bears too. I know that. Oh, did you see the Bronny James debut in the G League? He had 47 points and
That's
14
nothing.
assists. Boy went off, man. The boy went off.
Yeah, went
47
off the bench.
points.
Went off the bench into the onto the court. Is about as far as off as he went.
Oh man, that was hilarious though. That was hilarious. For those who didn't see, there was an error in putting up the stats. Putting up a it wasn't even the stats. Putting up a graphic for Bronny James, and he had 47 points and 14 assists in his debut. So I thought that was funny. I do got a good question for you. This was one that I think I would have asked during the bye week, but how we, our schedules lined up. Let me ask you this: most athletic fictional sports character,
Most
or or
athletic.
or yeah, because I don't know if I can say fictional sports character.
Airbud. Shit.
I was gonna
He
say Adam
played every
Sandler.
sport.
I was thinking Adam Sandler. He'd have been a quarterback. Was he
A
two
golfer
quarterback? He was a quarterback, a golfer,
and a
a,
linebacker.
a linebacker, a hooper.
A hooper.
He was a former basketball player. What's that movie with um where he was the scout? Kenny Smith was in it.
Uncut gems.
Not Uncut
Or
Gems. He
Uncut
was in that
gems.
too. No, it wasn't Uncut Gems. It was another one. Well, Queen Latifah
That's the
was his
one. That's the one. He was a scout.
Queen. I mean, Queen Latifah was his wife in
Oh,
this
you
movie.
you talking about the one with Ant Edwards in it?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Hustle.
yeah. Hustle. Yeah, yeah. That's yeah. I was getting them two confused for
Yeah,
a second, but yeah, yeah. When he had got the Rudy Herman Gomez or
yeah,
whatever her name is.
yeah. I
But
like.
I still say Airbud, bro.
That's it.
That
I mean,
man
I get
played
it.
basketball, football, soccer,
Hmm.
baseball. Even his kids can are
That's
athletes, man.
that's fair. That's fair. Or maybe I should have said human.
Okay, now that changes things.
Yeah.
Uh, Omar Epps,
Quincy McCall. He was in the program
and he was a track star in
in
one of the
higher
movies.
learning. Higher
Yep.
learning. And he was the Willie Mays Hayes
Yep.
in
Yeah.
Major League too. That's yeah. I forgot all about old Omar.
That's my
Hmm,
answer.
that's a good one. That's a good one. Uh, I don't know, man. That might be it, then. Man, I think that's it, man. We can go ahead and get ready to get up out of here. Um, can't do the theme music like we used to. The theme music is embedded in the outgoing. But man, I will say, man, thank y'all for tuning in. Thank y'all for watching. Do us a favor. Go follow us on Facebook at facebook.com/the Golden Boot. You can find on X or Twitter at x.com/Golden Boot. Uh, Catch us on YouTube at youtube.com/Golden Boot. Our TikTok one ain't up here, but it's tiktok.com/Golden Boot as well. And then go over to the goldenboot.com. You can check out our predictions, our articles and stuff. We'll probably be putting some more stuff up there. So,
Hey,
mhm.
guess who just joined Bryce Underwood's staff at his high school?
Stallions. I was just playing. Is that for real?
Yeah.
Get the. Out of here. I was just playing. That can't be real, bro. That can't be. That's got to be a
On three. Just put it out.
bro. That's
College
that's
Stallions is now coaching LSU five-star plus commit Bryce Underwood of Bellevue High School for the playoffs. Stallions joins his second high school football staff of the season after serving as Munford's DC/interim head coach.
got to be a what's call it.
That's tampering.
Yeah, I was just gonna say not just tampering, conflict of interest. Because don't you have to sit out for like 2 or 3 years before you can do that? Or maybe I don't know. Going from high school, I mean from college to high school may be
Yeah.
different.
Yep.
So, because I was thinking, I remember Marshawn Lattimore was doing it, and he actually had to stop. Not Marshawn, Marcus Lattimore. My bad.
Hmm.
He had to stop like coaching because they were saying it was like a conflict of interest and stuff. So I was just playing, bro. Get the bleep out of here.
Crazy.
That's crazy. So what they showing? Oh, they showing all the times that the Chiefs escaped. Oh. All right, man. We'll be back on Wednesday, I think. Maybe. Should be. Just turn on your notification bell. Hopefully we'll be back on Twitter by then. Uh but until then, like that, we out.
You can find the Golden Boot podcast on YouTube at Golden Boot, on Twitter at Golden Boot, on Instagram at Golden Boot, on Facebook at the Golden Boot Pod, on TikTok at Golden Boot, or listen on all streaming platforms. Golden Boot!